Hey Arcturian Starseeds, welcome to Starseed Energetics. My name is Bora and I'll be reading your November energy. So I've been missing in action for a few weeks and a lot of people have been concerned. I'm just totally fine. I've just been going through the same energies that you've been going through, which if you were conscious enough for it, might have noticed that it's been super intense. So I just needed some time out and I thank you for understanding, and I know that you are fine. You don't need my guidance. Just my friendship sometimes. Okay, so. So, Arcturians, this month is a month that is a very kind of fine-tuning month for you in terms of you have cycles of internal reflection and then you have cycles of like massive external reflection where you do use the landscape of the external reality to kind of learn about yourself and your soul and your life's journey, and you kind of go back and forth. And I'm sure you know what I mean. Sometimes you have cycles of time where you just want to be alone, and then other times you have cycles of time where you literally like interact so much with the external reality that you kind of even forget that you were working on an internal world, but you constantly learn your soul's lessons from the external reality. This is a month that you start integrating those two and actually really focus on how to tune into things that are just of your core frequency and being able to walk on this plane without being swayed by anything else that is not of your own frequency. It's a month of really tuning into high alchemy and not fearing any obstacles, energetic obstacles that are present in this realm. You have to ground your core frequency, like your soul flame. And you might have a question that if we are all one, of the one infinite source, how is it possible that there's things that are not of my frequency? The answer is that you have an experience of mirrors. Like this world is literally mirrors. Like this dimension is literally mirrors. Not only because it's the third dimension, but if you think about the things we perceive, especially with the human spectrum of vision, you see colors because they're reflections. As in, if you see something that's like red on this card, that portion is absorbing every single spectrum of light except for red. So you're literally seeing what's being reflected. So not only are we talking about this metaphysical reflection, we're really literally talking about, we're looking at reflections. And so when you're navigating through this mirror, hall of mirrors, which is the third dimension and this third density through the human eye, there are things or energies that are refracted upon one another or reflected upon one another, and it literally creates this endless kind of fractured perspectives that initially was your own frequency of the infinite source, but it's been fractured and reflected so many times that it's not of its holistic vibration anymore, or your soul's vibration anymore. So what you're learning to do is identify your blueprint amongst all these reflections, right? And how you're gonna go about doing that in this physical realm, which is the highlight of this month for you, whether it's a month or more or less is up to you. This is just how I find you through this month. First of all is to really purify your body vessel. I see this huge connection to the plant kingdoms. So be conscious of not just being vegetarian or like not eating harmful foods or chemicals, but also refining that to a point where you have to choose what feels good to merge with. Every time you eat something or you're consuming something with your physical body, you're having an energetic exchange with it, and you're having an information download from it. Like you're downloading the coded information from flowers. If you eat flowers, flower essences is actually coming up really strongly. So if you've never ventured in the direction of flower essences, I definitely recommend it. Flowers are definite enlightened plants. You know, when plants are enlightened, they flower. Just like how when rocks are enlightened, they crystallize. So flower essences are a beautiful way to kind of heighten your vibration. That's very much highlighted here. Fairies that come up. So even if you're vegetarian, you could be a crappy vegetarian. Like you could eat cookies that are vegetarian, but that doesn't mean anything. So it's a month of really fine tuning. And even if it's just vegetables, even if you're eating organic vegetables, this is the time where you learn with your intuition, not only what's considered to be good, but what information is best to merge with right now based on your current frequency. So even if, you know, organic carrots are amazing for people, it could be so that it's not good for you at the moment. This is the level of fine tuning you're entering, because you're actually grounding this counsel even more. Your crown chakra is being bombarded with all these different ascended masters that want to express through your vessel. And I know you probably have a team of guidance councils or ascended archetypes that you resonate with the most. You know, like for me, I love Santa Kumara, Ashtar, Saint Germain. You must have those who you turn to, like Archangel Michael. They're wanting to work with you. And whenever I said this, the people that popped up in your head, not just people, but the ascended masters or angels or, you know, light beings that came up in your consciousness, that's exactly who you're working with, that who you're learning to ground even more. And it's very unique because you could be like, oh, but Archangel Michael works with everybody. But he expresses himself differently through everybody. And depending on if you're, let's say, working with Archangel Michael all the time, as well as Isis, as well as Melchizedek, as well as Kuan Yin, that kind of mix creates a whole different alchemy than somebody else who's working with Archangel Michael, with Ashtar, with like Archangel Raphael. Like everybody has a different kind of mixture of counsels. So that's the way that not everybody's the same. But anyway, they're working with you very closely, and they're asking you to realize the power of your word intentions, and especially your spoken word and even thoughts. Because what happens when you refine yourself physically is also you're refining yourself astrally and etherically. So there's going to be a lot of times where simultaneously you're going to have certain thoughts that you know it just doesn't resonate. Like, let's say that you find yourself in a certain mood that is sulky. That's not your essence. So what thoughts are popping into your head when you're feeling that? And when you can get conscious of the sulkiness that doesn't feel right, because it's not of your soul vibration, it's the refracted energies that I'm talking about, is a hall of mirrors. understand that you have the power to clear those energies. You can have invocations of certain energies like violet flame. You can invoke Archangel Michael to cut the cords, or you can just simply say, this is a very strong example of this empowered way you can invoke energies, is to simply have these power words like clear, cancel, delete. That's one of them. Like, so when you find yourself thinking a thought or having an emotion that is not of a vibration you want to be harnessing, just invoke these 3 words of clear, cancel, delete. And you understand that these are literally like magical invocations of when you're aligned to your awareness and you say things like this, you'd be surprised at what you're able to do. And especially if you visualize at the same time. If you don't know what to visualize, then just focus on your pineal gland and just lighting up. But if there are certain things that you could visualize, as you say, clear, cancel, delete, you can just invoke a pillar of light that is of this diamond opal aura. That's a good thing to visualize. You know you can do these magical things, right? It's like high magic, it's white magic. So take action whenever you find yourself in a bandwidth that is not you. And how do you know that it's not you? It feels off. Very simple. And you're simultaneously working on that by being in tune with your body and getting acquainted with these plant consciousness, this plant kingdom, which one to eat, which one to consume. And when you're consuming those plants, please have this reverence, like please have this gratitude. A lot of people, when they're talking about this vegetarianism, they frame it in a way that it's like so much more noble because it's not an animal. Plants are freaking alive and they're being of service to you. This is like part of the reason why humans incarnate, or like the 3rd density lessons in consuming these 2nd density consciousness, is to learn that level of devotion from the 2nd density consciousness, like plants and animals, of completely existing to be of service to others. And you just naturally embody that frequency. So do communicate with these plants when you're eating them, before you eat them or whatever. Another message that's extremely powerfully synchronized is your hearing. So most of you are going to have an awakening to a next level of clairaudience. You have ear chakras with enjoy clear hearing. Like, these are 2 completely different decks, saying the same thing about your clairaudient abilities really increasing. And I guess when you refine your astral body, refine your etheric vehicle, and you refine your physical body by attuning to what to eat, and it doesn't even have to be, vegetarianism. If you have the highest of intentions and if you have the highest levels of gratitude, eating meat can be just as sacred as being breatharian. And I know a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about that, but intentions are very powerful. But to that level, the level of intention and the empowerment that you need to program the animal in that way before you eat it is a lot more than it takes to just breathe air, so that's what I'm saying. So you're going to be hearing a lot of guidance. I think if you've been attuned to this clairgnosis and just getting guidance from your higher self in a very natural, intuitive way, I think this upcoming pocket of time, you're going to start hearing it more physically, like, so in your inner ears. And this is to actually help you discern the various different voices that come as suggestions or thoughts. And you have to be refined to identify you don't have to necessarily know where exactly it's coming from. For example, you don't have to know exactly if that was coming from Archangel Michael or that was coming from a negative cabal entity. But at least just have a general idea of if it's coming from love and light or if it's coming from this illusory refractions. So notice, pay attention to your clairaudient abilities and have an intention to work with it. So another thing would be to do a lot of sound healing. If you're not sure about the nature of music, I would say 99% of music that's available in the mass market is 440 hertz, which is the standard of music production, you know. But I would basically say that is an audible microwave frequency. It's not holistic, and it's attuning you to basically entropy. So work a lot with 432 hertz music. You can YouTube it, solfeggio frequencies, and just basic sound healing frequencies, whether that's vocal. But try to stay away from listening to too much of this mass market music, which is 440 hertz. And like I said, most music is 440 hertz, especially when it comes to any genre of music that's mainstream. It's all 440. And you know about cymatics and how sound waves imprint your cells with a certain pattern. It's literally like cabal frequency is 440 hertz. Don't worry though. Because I'm telling you now, like, as you listen to these more natural music, you will heal so much faster. Remember that you're this earth angel, like as you ground all of these counsels onto your human, it's literally being translated and expressed as an earth angel. So there you go, you're an earth angel. And this is another layer of initiatory time pockets. So let me just read like 3 cards quick on tarot. It's very rare that I do an entire reading with oracle cards, but I think I did that for you even the last time I read for you. So what that means is that you're so authentic. Because your new expression. That's why they can't just talk to you through these archetypal energies of the tarot. The universe. Oh my god. I love when I say I'm just gonna pull 3 cards and then I end up pulling like 20 more. What I get is, first of all, a lot of you, most of you, or all of you are activating different, I guess, oversoul experiences that is coming to synchrony right now, especially regarding the Atlantean times. So if I could just have you focus in the center of the earth, in pockets of buried crystals from Atlantis, and whatever form that crystal takes for you is the right one. To help with visualization, for me, when I'm tuning into the Atlantean crystals, they're very smoky. But just attuning to those pockets of crystals that are buried deep under the sea will give you this next level of power, that you can, a source of energy or source of grounding or source of connection to the earth that will really serve you. It's a huge closing of a chapter in which some of the things that are being really deconditioned out of you is, I mean, if I even showed you the freaking major arcanas that are here right now, one of it is throwing in the towel, giving up, considering something a failure. You ever notice when you were growing up, if you ever felt really strange about the fact that a failure is even a concept? I mean, failure is when something is redirected and you just consider it finished. So that's what you're seeing is not there anymore. And this idea of failure is actually a microcosmic expression of death. It doesn't exist. And as you kind of work through your fear or anxiety about death, which is a very inherent programming in all humans, that there's some kind of death and it leads to some kind of eternal fuck. You also destroy fear and anxiety about failure. Both are illusions. So you attain this, you attain this amazing courage and bravery and this fearlessness because you deprogram any fear about death or failure. It's coming to an end. It's wrapping up this cycle, and that's this universe. And you have the universe, you have the death card, you have the wheel of fortune. So I feel like every month I'm telling people it's like a brand new reality, but it is. And I'm telling you, it is always a brand new reality. I guess I'm gonna keep saying that until we just like come to an agreement that every moment is a brand new reality. So you're cultivating this courage that transcends death and failure. So what that is going to do to your reality is empower you on a level, and this inner kind of mastery and channeling it into love. It's like an automatic transmutation when it comes into your field because you don't have a programming of failure or death. 7 is a really significant number. So what is it about 7? Whatever you resonate with, whether that's 7 weeks, 7 months, or July of next year, something about 7 is really highlighted. It's synchronous. 7, maybe Pleiades. connecting with the Pleiadians. Whatever it is, 7 is really repeated. No matter what situations you find yourself in, remember to go forth with this mental clarity of your higher selves and an objectivity to where you view things. I mean, true objectivity is not really feasible for 3rd density or 4th density or whatever else you navigate through. I mean, it's not something sustainable to having an experience, right? This perpetual objectivity. But it's something to strive towards as a conceptual idea of objectivity. So even if we as humans think that we're being objective, it's not actually objective because we're having a human experience. It's not objective. But having the qualities of objectivity, like seeing things from that perspective, is valuable enough that we should adopt it. And, you know, just whenever you find yourself in a situation that you feel kind of stuck in, or that you're being too associated or egoistic about it, you can literally visually program your perspective so that you ascend your perspective, like you look down upon your situation from an eagle's eye perspective. If you can just imagine zooming out your perspective to beyond the earth, as if you're actually looking at the earth from as a hologram, and replay the scenario from that end, I promise you, you will just know what to do. So yeah, there's a lot of fire energy here, and this is an external figure that is a manifestation of your internal reality, of course, is subconscious mind, and you're purifying your subconscious mind on a very, very strong level. So you can trust that whatever external figures come into your reality, galloping into your reality, can be trusted. It's really funny because in this Knight of Wands card, there's these little lizards or whatever. I don't know what they're called. Are they geckos or lizards? But basically, I bought something, so I have this little shopping bag. You know, it's like from Sephora, right? It's like a paper bag, a little paper bag. And I'm carrying it home at the end of the day. And then I go home and I spend a couple hours, winding down, just doing whatever. I was probably watching YouTube for a couple of hours. And then I reached into that bag, and one of these lizards just jumped out of the bag onto my hand, and I just freaked out. It was one of the weirdest things that ever happened in my life, because when did it get in the bag? And then why was it chilling in there for a couple of hours when I got home? It didn't come from outside of my building, because my building is enclosed. There's no openings. They're all closed. It literally must have went into this tiny little bag when I was walking, and then it was chilling there for a few hours. And the day after that, I watched Above Majestic. So that was actually yesterday that I was watching that documentary. I freaking love it. If you're not aware of Above Majestic, it's a documentary that Jordan Sather and Corey Good produced on the secret space program and all of the different, I don't want to call it conspiracy theories because I hate that word. It makes sense, but I recommend you watch it. Please purchase it on iTunes or Vimeo or Amazon, whatever, because we should support these people, And I'm really glad that it's number 1 on the charts, because it means that people are very awake. So anyway, the reason why this lizard thing is really persistent in my reality, basically, I guess I have to make a separate video about it, but we have to make peace with these reptilians. Anyway, that's another topic. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you.